What's good, y'all? J Boogie in full effect mode. Bun down is the sound. You know how we do. This is, of course, the Lounge Presents podcast. And today in the lounge space, we have the pleasure of welcoming for the first time an artist who has really solidly made a lane for themselves in today's rap world, in the rap industry, and have done a really good job of having people pay attention, which is obviously how we stumbled across this talent because they know exactly what the fuck they are doing. So without any further ado, let's give it up one time. Love the genius.
Hello, thanks for having me. That was a nice intro. I appreciate it.
All day. Salute all day. How's everything today?
Everything's good. I'm in Buffalo right now. I feel like we're having an extended winter, low key, which is unfortunately
Yeah.
not not even like foreign. So I'm just going through that, having a good day though. How are you?
You know what? We are definitely feeling the same thing because we're going through our own extended winter where it snows one day and then it's like +5 the next day and then it rains the next day and
Yeah,
we're just about ready for this winter shit to be over.
really.
For real. And I mean, and like the weather in Buffalo, I mean, I don't think it's that different from the weather we have here in Winnipeg, Canada.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
I'm pretty sure it's pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I know what it's like out in Toronto, and y'all just right under Toronto, so
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
say word. Now, we always start off by asking guests that come into the lounge space how they were first introduced to hip hop culture.
How was I first introduced to hip hop culture? I don't know that I was I mean, I guess I was introduced like with artists, but as far as I'm concerned, the culture of hip hop is the culture grew up in. Like I was raised with people like my family just rapping, freestyling at home, you know what I mean? People just singing that's just regular life to me. So like my upbringing is hip hop.
You were growing up.
When I was growing up, my mother she listened to a lot of Jay-Z. My mother listened to Biggie.
Hey,
Um,
hey,
he listened to Salt and Pepper. Uh, my mother listened to Heavy D. Uh,
hey.
listened
Rest
to
in
like
peace.
yeah, she listened to like Lauren Hill. It was like vibes in my house for sure.
Yeah, that's a great household to grow up in.
Yeah, it was vibes.
For real, for real. So when we were all first, I guess getting our feet wet with hip hop culture, because much like yourself, there are many of us who just kind of had it all around us, when we were growing
Yeah.
up. Many times there will be people who think, "Hey, I could do that," or "I could do that," but they can't really, and we figure out pretty quick who can and who can't. What was it about rhyming that made you want to pick up a mic and say, you know what, I got something to say?
Interestingly enough, my first like writings and even rhymes weren't from raps. Like, so I was really into poetry. So first my writing came
Okay.
when I was a child, when I would get in trouble, which was a lot, unfortunately, but when I would get in trouble, I would have to my mom would have me read a book and then I would have to write like something from the book and give it to my mom. So that sparked my writing, like in general. And then I got into poetry. Just like my dad was into poetry, he started like here and there when he would come around. That's what he would take me to do, like go to poetry open mics and stuff. So my first stuff was like poems, and then it just naturally, I think me just performing the poems made me, or people tell me like, oh, you can rap that, you know what I mean, or like you're rapping, like. So that's how that came about.
That makes a lot of sense. I can hear that in your bars.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you know what I mean? Because I mean, poetry, spoken word, and rap. I mean, right? Like
It's all the same. It's
close
one and the same, really.
close cousins, exactly. So, and when I listen to your bars, I'm like, she's got this very distinctive flow, but and it's not like it's not like there are others out there who don't also follow that same tenet or anything. But it's very distinct, and I can hear that when I listen to your bars.
Yeah.
But I got to give it up to the parents. First of all, give it up for that punishment. Why the hell didn't we think of that? Oh my god.
Yeah, I had to
So
do a
shout
lot
out to
of
moms
reading and writing.
because she
Yeah.
knew what the hell she was doing.
Yeah, I didn't know she knew what she was doing at the time, but turns out
No, we never do.
and plus I would read like, just trying to read so I could go back outside. Like I'm just okay,
Right?
here's this, like, so that's what I mean. I didn't know it turned out to be something, but I mean it did.
Yeah. And that's parents, young parents out there, if that isn't a lesson to take with you, I don't know what is. That I kind of wish my wife and I thought of that. That's actually really damn good. Anyway, so shout out to moms. Damn. Um, what did when would the epiphany moment hit? Because every artist has one. That distinct moment in time when you knew this is it. This is what I'm going to do.
Like as an artist, like be an artist.
Yeah.
Um all right, so I would say because I've been doing music for so long, but there is a time because I had stopped making music. Like I put my first project out on the street like when I was 11.
Right.
So
Yeah.
in the like missed the life in the span of life, I stopped making, like I stopped recording. I always wrote because
Right.
writing became like a natural part of my life just from how I grew up. You know what I mean? So I would write anyway. But then it was a time when I lived in Atlanta. I remember talking on the phone to Benny actually, and he was telling me like what they were about to do. Like this was before his album before 10 to Talk 3 came out. And he was
Mm-hmm.
like, we're about to go crazy. Like if you're gonna do it, this is the time that you need to do it again. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And then I had to really make a choice because before that it was just like, like when you're doing something for a long time, it's just aspirational. Like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want to do. You know what I mean? But then that was where I had to make a real choice. Like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to rap. Like, you know what I mean? Because I had to make real life adjustments to get back into it. Because I had stopped, and I was
Yeah.
like 20. So I was out of, you know what I mean? So I had to really make a choice.
I get that.
Yeah.
But and I'm also impressed with how humbly you mention just casually dropping the bar. Yeah, I just dropped my first record when I was 11. What? Okay, first of all, she's just gonna casually drop that like that in a bar in and of itself. Not many 7-year-olds are dropping records. Okay, so I'm just
No, yeah, I had a very interesting upbringing. The way it went, if you want to know. So I actually got in a car accident when I was 11. And so I was in the house, and when I was finally able to go back outside, like on crutches and wheelchair and stuff, aside from school, my mom was like, "What do you want to do?" And I've been in the house writing for this song, so I was like, I want to go to the studio." So that's how that happened.
oh wow.
Yeah. So I just recorded everything that I wrote just from my time of doing physical therapy and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, because I couldn't do much. Like I was on
Yeah.
crutches. Yeah.
And I mean, I almost feel like I don't have to ask. You obviously had the full support of your family to drop this record at 11.
Yeah, I had full support of my family for sure, especially my mother. Yeah.
That's awesome. And it's great to have, that immediate support at such a critical time when, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you're 11 and you're deciding you want to drop a record. It's not just going to the store to buy some candy. It's a
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
it's a pretty, momentous thing. So for your family to like be like 10 toes down on that. Like, yo, that's love. That's beautiful. Because as you know, I mean, a lot of artists, uh, they come with, the more Christian backgrounds in their
Yeah.
families.
Hmm.
It's an uphill climb. They've got to hide it for a little bit before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can let
I
the
come from a
family
Christian
know.
family too, but it was like I was like because I was so young and got in an accident, it was like my mom felt like kind of bad for me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
no, I
like
get that.
whatever you want to do, we can go and do it because you're stuck to the house. Like I couldn't do anything, and I was always a very active person. So I think
Yeah,
that's what it was. Like, I mean, it's support, but I mean, it was like she picked something to do. I'm sure even if the songs weren't good, she would have just took me, because that's what I wanted to go do to get outside.
yeah. And I mean, you know what? I totally get it. I feel like
Yeah.
I'd be exactly the same way if, you know, my
Right.
child at 11 had to go through all that. And this was,
Yeah.
their way of wanting to, hey, let's go. You know what I mean? Yeah, I
Right.
totally get that. No,
Yeah.
that's so dope. I, I feel like if I were to ask this next question, some of it could be answered, but I'm curious as to when you were younger,
Hmm.
because I mean, not many 11-year-olds are surrounded by their peers also feeling like they want to drop records. So
Yeah.
I'm just curious what, when you're telling the homie, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go drop a record right now. What? I mean, come
I know
on,
that's
like
crazy to right, and you were a child. I never thought about that before. I don't know. It was such a just I don't know. It was just I've always been the person to just do, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So I don't
yeah,
think I even thought about it. And plus after like once I was able to go back outside, just thinking of that time because I made music a lot of years.
yeah,
But when I was finally able to be out or at least like ride around in the car, it was like a whole process, like you know what I mean, to get back outside. I was selling like at that time it was CDs. I was selling them, so I don't think I care. Like I was making a good amount of money. Like it was like
yeah,
yeah, I was in the house, I was in an accident and a wheelchair on crutches, but now I'm making this money off of this music. So
yeah. Doing
that's
the
how it.
damn thing.
Yeah,
God
and my
damn,
mom
that's
was
so
driving me around. You know,
Oh, of course. Of course. I mean, of course.
yeah.
I mean, the story would not be complete if moms wasn't driving you around to do that. No,
Yeah,
yeah.
and CDs with me, yeah, all of that.
Do you remember the first show that your family was able to attend and catch you live for the first time?
Like right now, like now.
Yeah.
I would say we did a show Conway. I think yeah, it was a just Conway show because we did some Griselda shows, but it was just Conway. We did a show at Town Ballroom, which is a venue in downtown Buffalo.
Mm.
Um, Up until that point, we just been traveling around. You know what I mean? And that was where I feel like the whole city, for the first time, it was like this is it. And my family was there. It was a very it was a nice show.
That had to be a good feeling to see your family in the crowd.
Yeah, it was very nice. And then to have that familiarity just backstage with you getting ready to go out, all of that was nice.
As artists, sometimes it's easy to take for granted the blessed spaces that artists are able to inhabit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Especially putting yourself in a vulnerable position, because when you're performing, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position.
for sure.
So on top of that, you're sharing your art. Again, you're opening yourself up.
Hmm.
And something that I really seemed to get from Self Love 3 was there was some reflection that it was guaning, and there's some opening up that was coming out of this record.
Hmm. Yeah. So on Self Love 3, for sure, I was like, I want to be more vulnerable, especially because that was the last of the Self Love series that I knew I wanted
Right.
to make. So for the first Self Love, I feel like even listening to it was like more lost or more like yearning for something. And then the
Hmm.
second one was like me, like, okay, I'm getting in my bag, forget all of this stuff. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then the third one, I feel like it was me bringing it all together. But interestingly enough, every time I've made a self love, that's really where I was in life. Like, it wasn't like I'm just
Oh
conceptually
yeah.
making this music. It's like, no, this is where I am, and now I'm ready to record self love. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I for the past maybe year and a half just been on a journey of like rediscovering, or at least maybe not rediscovering, discovering who I am or who I want to be for the later years of my life, or like more settled and not so like, for so many years of my life I've been chasing something, you know,
Yeah.
and now I feel like I'm not so much chasing anything, but now I'm at the place of having to make everything come together, you know what I mean, structure it. And I feel like with that, it was me doing a lot of like refining myself, refining what I like, you know, who I am, what I want to do, what I want to be. And that's everything that I did with that album.
Very important things to do, especially being an artist.
Yeah.
Being able to know exactly who you are, where you want to see yourself, and how you're going to get there.
Right. Yeah, I took
And
time to get to that,
yeah,
or do that. Yeah.
when I was listening to the beats and ting on the record, uh, you've got a handful of producers on there. How do you decide how you're going to put a record together? If you know you're going to go through, various packs to try and compile something together, or someone happens to have a pack that, whoa, I'm going to vibe off everything off this pack, so maybe that should be a full out album. Like how how does your creative process decide?
My music, and like I said, that Self Love 3 album, but in general, my music is so true and present to wherever I am in that time that it's really just about. So I have a couple producers who I trust. Like, I know when I open theirs, I'm going to hear at least a couple that I'm for sure going to use. Because oftentimes, unfortunately, you open emails from people and you never hear a beat you like. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I have people who I know
Right.
I'm going to go, or at least I'm going to hear something. But anyway, I think the reason for those people that I know that too is because I know that they capture the vibe I'm in. So it's
Right.
more so like however I feel. And then it's like when I'm making a project, I do put all of the beats together before I even make a lyric. And that I think is because I know it's because I know the energy that I want to give out, you know,
For that
and I
record.
knew
Yeah.
it's right. So I knew, and also I know how I want it to sound in the car, like in the vehicle, you
Yeah.
know. So that matters to me, like where the sounds
Yep.
move and fit. So um it's really about the energy that I'm in, and then hearing the beat that can deliver to that energy.
I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah.
And listening to the final master and the whip, yeah, I definitely feel that.
Really.
always always from out of the studio into the whip for like, you know, bun up a ting and just go for a little drive and
Right.
listen to that whole final master. Totally get that. Totally
Yeah,
get that.
for sure.
No, definitely. You also on this record worked with a very notable figure in the rap canon, a figure from out of the native tongues, Moni Love.
That's it, sir.
Yo, what?
The legend, for sure.
How'd that
That
come
was
about?
I would say that was a dream come true for sure, like a bucket list collab for me. Like absolutely 1,000,000%. But that came about because I met her a couple years ago at a show, and we've been connected ever since for real. She's really like a big sister, especially in the industry, especially with
Yeah,
um like people who make the type of music that we make, you know what I mean,
yeah.
and are like saying something or like trying to get a message across. So we do a lot of just talking in general, like without music. So when I was making that song, it was just like, I know I need her on this record. So I finally feel like I have something, because you know when you meet people, it's always like, oh, send something, but that's
Yeah,
not. I
yeah.
don't operate like that. Like I need to hear something, or you could send me something, but I'm not just going to put anybody on any song just because I have the
Yeah,
opportunity. So when I heard that, I was like, yeah, I think I got something I could ask. So I went for it.
that's a crazy bucket list.
Yeah, absolutely.
And and I mean, it's not like you hear Mooney verses on the regular either.
You do not hear a new
That's what
Mooney.
I'm saying, yo. What the
Right, exactly. I mean, she be dropping
damn?
she drops songs here and there, but that's very, very rare.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's you know what? That's a credit to you because obviously she felt your energy and she knew she could vibe with it.
Yeah, I
Because you
appreciate
guys
it.
are on that joint together. Damn.
Yeah, it's really genuine, genuine energy and
Well,
respect.
the song feels very genuine.
Yeah, it is. And she smoked that record. I ain't gonna lie. She went crazy
Yep.
on that verse. She
Yep.
definitely went crazy.
Most def. Most def. When you guys were just about getting ready to finish that particular record, was there any thought to making it a single and giving it any further, using it as promotion any further, or was it just kind
Yeah.
of like, yo, we did it. That's the damn thing right there.
I feel like for me it was kind of a combination of two,
Yeah.
because I definitely feel like that record could be it is what it is, you know what I mean? Like, it's a beautiful record.
It's a good
Definitely
record.
could be a
Hell
single
yeah.
record. Um but yeah, I think that I wanted to I don't know. I just think about like my future, like, and how I want stuff to hit and how I want to come back, like, to a lot of
Right.
stuff,
Right.
and I think that's one of them. I'm pretty sure that I was like, this could not sit, but it could be discovered as it's discovered and heard how it's heard. And then as I do this other stuff I'm doing, I got some other stuff in mind for it.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Speaking of other stuff, you also dropped a record with Shane Noir.
Yeah. Desire Crowns. Yeah.
You like working nonstop.
I'm always working. That's a fact. I'm always working. Yeah. Always. I told you I write all the time.
That was a very dope collaboration as well. Was
Thank you.
that were these always on the vision board? Were these planned out things, or were these like situations where fate happened to work out super dope?
With me and Shay North, we actually have been working on this album for years. I would say
Okay.
probably, like, we're in 2026, probably since like 2000, maybe like 3 years. Um,
Okay.
and just in between our schedules, because like I'm saying, my stuff is like genuine vibes and energy. So, and then with our schedules, we did all of that stuff in person, like together. Like, we didn't
Nice.
send anything. So
Nice.
it was very much like, as long as our schedules align and we can, link. We knew we wanted to do the album. We didn't know when it would happen or when it would be done, or we didn't know that part. We would just knew we're together, we having a good time. Let's record a song, and then it was like, oh, make a project. It's like that. And then
Well,
it came like, I never heard nothing like this, like, so
yeah.
it turned into, yeah.
No, well, I think it goes without saying. Y'all definitely killed.
Thank you. I
Nah, for real.
appreciate it.
Nah, for real. The one last thing that I wanted to mention about this record, and I wanted to give you like mad salute on, is this is a vulnerable ass record,
Yes.
and I fucking appreciated that.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's
For
talk
real.
about what's
I'm
your
right.
thing with vulnerability.
It's what well, like, we really, I mean, come on. We love our bars, right? Like, we want to hear, the viciousness. We want to hear, MCs tearing each other down. Yes, please do not ever make that stop.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to the human personality.
No, yeah, I feel that. Okay, so listen, I feel like that, but I feel also like just the reality of life. Like, this is, like I'm saying, I don't feel like that today right now, because I've done other things since that. But the reality of life is so much going on in the world as a whole. People are feeling things. So even if you don't want
Yes.
to acknowledge or go to those direct things people are feeling, you can just talk about your own feelings. Like, this is the time to
Yep.
do. So I'm all for that, you know?
No, for real, for real. And I mean, it's no secret, right? Like the culture that we fucking love. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, big up your chest thing. You know what I mean? Like,
For
and I
sure.
mean that's fine. Like I said, that's part of the culture, and that's part of, if we're breaking and we're battling, that's what we're doing. If we're breaking and if we're battling in a cipher, that's what we're doing. If we're, you know, battling DJ, that's what we're doing. Yes, of course.
Right.
But I mean, like you put it, there's just so much to talk about. There really, like, thank you. There really is. There's
Yeah.
so much to talk about
Yeah.
that employs so many different emotions and that affect every person in
For
their
sure.
lifetime, right?
Yeah. Right.
So
Yeah.
I totally get where you're coming from, and I appreciate the fact that you recognize that as well.
No, really, I'm a feeler. Like, I'm all for it, man. Like,
But
I
we all
appreciate you.
are,
Right.
right?
I
We
appreciate that's what I'm
all
about to
are,
say. I
though.
appreciate you acknowledging the vulnerability of it, because yeah, we all are.
Well, it, like I'm lucky to have seen the cultural shift, in our respective communities, as the last 30 years, how we've become more accepting of the fact that we are human, and we,
Mhm.
self-care is so fucking important for us to maintain our sanity,
Yeah.
especially now. Right? Like, let's be straight up.
Yeah.
Shit's fucked up right now.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So on top of our lives, there's like all the crazy shit happening around us. So yeah, man, like, come on.
Yeah.
There's
Really.
a time and a place for everything.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely.
And then, it's another thing for my with this album with, like, I mean, I know that people are in their cars, in their vehicles, moving around, getting things done. You have to be right now. You know what I mean? So you either want to hear something that's going to get you hustling, motivating you, or you want to hear something that's going to calm you down and get your mind settled
Yeah.
into what you're doing. So I
Yeah.
wanted to be there for that. So I
There you
appreciate it.
go. Well, I think you pulled it off straight up and down.
Thank you.
For real. For real. Now, have we got any potential live dates coming up?
I was just talking about this. I feel like so I'm in I feel like it's going to happen. So yes, the answer is yes, but I feel like I want to do it like the end of the year or like the top of next year. Um yeah, I got
That might be a
like,
good idea, all
yeah.
things considered.
Yeah, right? I feel like
Traveling
that.
wise now is just kind of fucked up.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just a lot going on. I mean, it's a lot, it's going to be a lot going on, but it's a lot
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of people are touring, which is fine, but I feel like I need to wait a little bit, and I got some other stuff
No,
I'm working on, so it's coming
makes
for sure
total
though,
sense.
because I already know it's going to go crazy, and I know that people want me in their cities, so.
Oh yeah. And you definitely got to come up to Canada.
Oh, of
You
course.
know you're gonna reach Toronto, right?
Yeah.
At
Yeah,
the very least.
Toronto's one of the first places I ever performed, like, as a person. So I definitely have to come to Toronto, at
Well,
least.
I mean, look at the proximity. Like
Right.
Toronto has always, I mean, from time, you know what I mean? Your radio stations helped us, you know, helped educate us
Yeah.
in, in the golden age,
Yeah. I remember.
right? So
I
it's
remember.
like, yeah, you know what I mean? So Toronto and Buffalo are so closely linked. Like, come on.
Right. Yeah. Do you guys get the same radio as Toronto?
Well, I mean, online,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I,
But yeah.
like how tough is radio listenership in Buffalo now? Is it still, like, other than, like, I think morning drives are always going to be safe, but like how tough are people listening to the radio now?
I couldn't even tell you because I don't listen to the radio. I'm
Right?
not really sure. Yeah, I don't really
Right?
know. But shout out to the radio station. They play my music out here. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. But I
Yeah.
don't really know the answer to that. But
Yeah.
I hear your point.
Yeah. No, it's like, it's part of that whole the industry changing every 5 seconds.
Right.
Before I let you go, the one thing I have to ask you is, as an artist, and because of the fact that the music industry now is so different from the industry 30 years ago,
Hmm.
now you have to be ever evolving when it comes to the business side. As an artist, has that been easy for you to navigate?
I would say yes, actually.
Dope.
Um,
Dope.
I think because I was trying to be an artist on a certain platform for so long that I've learned
Mm.
or I've grown and evolved with just life and technology in general. So I come from like essentially the DIY artist life, you know what I
You
mean? And then
already know.
oh, and getting in offices and these different labels, it's really about already knowing what you want. That's what I learned from just being there is you have to know what you want already. And if you haven't, I think if you haven't tried or done this stuff yourself or put together people to try to get things done, you don't even know what you want. So for me, it's not hard because it's just, and I think the time is like right now, and I'm
Yeah,
right now. So,
there you
you know,
go.
it's very
Nah,
current.
you got to follow that instinct. As an
Yeah.
artist, you got to follow that instinct because deep down inside, there's that little voice inside you that is it's telling you when to pull
Yeah.
the trigger. Yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely. Most
Yeah.
definitely.
I follow
Now,
that.
you're obviously still, I mean, I know the life people like to say like the life cycle of albums these days is shorter, and in some cases, yes, that is true. But like true, like I believe true fans of the culture, those short cycles for albums don't exist because
Hmm.
we
Yeah.
continue listen, like we don't stop listening to
Right.
the dope records, right? Um, so obviously you've got some current albums you definitely are still promoting, but have you already, like, I can't help but ask, have you already got your you know ducks starting in a row for the next project?
Yeah. I actually got,
I thought so.
yeah. I actually have 3 albums
Oh my god.
recorded that I am going to drop.
Damn.
Yeah.
Your
I got,
productivity is on 10.
I appreciate it. I got 3 albums that I have recorded, and I'm working on a short film. Like I'm working on it still, so that's why the albums haven't come out yet. But that's why I
Oh
don't have a date.
damn.
But it's coming. It's gonna come together. Yeah,
Okay, well, yo, you got to come back when it's
I
time to
will.
start talking about those things.
I will absolutely.
Okay, first of all, not just the music, the film too, the short film.
Mm. Yeah, of course, of course.
Okay, solid. Yo, that's it really it makes me happy to see artists doing not just what they're capable of, but realizing they're capable of even more.
Yeah,
I love seeing that.
thank you. I
Zero
appreciate.
ceilings, y'all. Zero
Right.
ceilings. Because there's too many people out there that are gonna try and throw those ceilings up on you. Fuck that shit. Zero
You know.
ceilings.
Exactly.
There you go. Love the genius. Thank you very much for spending time with us in the lounge space today. So appreciated.
Thanks for having me.
Let them know where they can find you on socials.
Yes. Follow me on all social media at Love the Genius. My name is spelled the number 7XVE, the genius. 7XVE, the genius on all social media.
And if you get that twisted, I can't help you, homie.
I can't really like, that's all.
Is what I'm saying. Love the genius. Thank you once again. Peace.